The veil didn't welcome me. It watched me. Even before I stepped into the ancient threshold, I felt it, thick as breath on the back of my neck. The boundary between this world and that place wasn't marked by stone or gate or warning, but by the shift in stillness, like the moment before a storm collapses the sky. My boots met earth dusted in ash and bone. The wind stopped moving, and something colder than cold crawled beneath my skin, as if I'd just inhaled secrets that would never forgive me. The veil was not just a realm, it was aware, and I had no idea what it remembered about me. Behind me, the forest I'd emerged from already looked distant, warped, like the trees knew not to follow. But he did. Eryx didn't make a sound, and yet I knew he was there, always one step behind me, not hunting, not hurting, haunting. You hesitated, came his voice, low and soft and cutting all at once. I didn't turn around. I'm not afraid. No, he said closer now, but you should be. His presence didn't touch me, but I felt it like a pressure in the air. The veil responded to him, shadows curling at his feet, rippling across the ground like smoke learning to breathe. You said this place was dormant, I murmured. Dormant doesn't mean dead. The wind shifted, except it wasn't wind. It was whispering. I stiffened. Did you hear that? He stepped beside me finally, gaze fixed on the horizon where the veil stretched wide, a kingdom built in grayscale. Ruins and spires, broken arches and bridges suspended in nothing, all carved from shadow and memory. I did, he said. I glanced at him. What did it say? He turned to me slowly. The air thickened between us, colder and heavier, like the veil was holding its breath. It said your name. My pulse stuttered. That's impossible. Not here. My arms prickled. What does it want? His gaze burned low, unreadable. The same thing I do. He stepped closer, barely a breath of space between us. To know why a girl with this much power keeps pretending she doesn't want to use it. I didn't ask for this, I said sharply. No, he murmured, but it asked for you. His fingers lifted, not touching, but hovering just close enough that I could feel the warmth of him teasing the air between us. And still, he didn't close the space. My breath came faster. The veil pulsed around us. The shadows shifted. Not malicious, but curious, as if drawn to the tension sparking between our bodies. You said the veil would recognize me, I whispered. He nodded once. It does. It shouldn't. I've never been here. That's the lie they fed you. I turned sharply toward him. Then tell me the truth. His eyes met mine, unflinching, hungry. You were born of it, Nyra. The sound of my name in his mouth did something violent to me. It rooted under my skin like magic and madness, a thread of possession I couldn't sever. I swallowed hard. Born of it? That's not possible. I was raised among mortals, trained to forget, taught to fear the pull in your blood. His voice darkened. But the veil never forgot, and now neither will you. Something coiled in my gut, not fear, recognition, like the world was turning right side up, even if it made me sick to look at it. I turned back toward the endless shifting landscape ahead of us. The ruins shimmered like mirages, all sharp edges and ruined grandeur, ancient and aching. And somewhere in that ruin, something called to me, a memory that wasn't mine. "Where are you taking me?" I asked. "To the place where your shadow first separated from your soul." My spine straightened. What the hell does that mean? He didn't answer. Instead, he walked forward, boots silent against the cracked earth. The shadows parted for him, breathing around his frame, licking at the edges of his cloak like affectionate hounds. I stayed frozen for one heartbeat longer, then two, before my feet finally moved. The veil didn't pull me in. It welcomed me, as if some ancient recognition had bloomed inside it too, as if it remembered me. And that terrified me more than anything Eryx had said. The sky above the veil bled no sun, no moon, only bruised light caught in motionless clouds, casting everything in hues of bone and ash. Still, I could see, not clearly, not wholly, but as if my eyes had learned new truths since stepping across that unseen threshold. The air carried weight, every breath thick with something primal, something familiar. I followed him. The space between us taut, an invisible tether vibrating with unspoken things. Eryx didn't look back. He didn't have to. He knew I was behind him, that I would follow. I hated that he was right. He led us along a jagged path carved between shadow-hewn stones, past half-collapsed arches whose carvings whispered against the edges of my mind. Script I didn't recognize but understood. Not with thought, with blood. "What are these?" I asked, brushing a finger along the surface of one ancient slab. It shuddered beneath my touch. "Memories," he said. "Not yours. Not yet." A sudden gust, not air, but magic, spiraled around my wrist, tugging something inside me tight. I yanked my hand back. "They're dangerous," I muttered. Eryx smiled darkly, only to those who lie to themselves. "And what happens when you tell the truth?" He stopped, turned, and in that heartbeat, the entire veil seemed to pause. Then the veil listens. My pulse skittered. "Do you want it to listen to you, Nyra?" he asked softly, too softly. "Or are you still hoping it forgets you exist?" I opened my mouth, but I didn't know what to say. My instinct screamed to defy him, to insist that I was here only to survive, to bargain, to escape. But the lie wouldn't leave my tongue, because part of me, a part I was trying to strangle, didn't want to escape. Part of me was home. I looked away. He moved again, and I followed, deeper into the breathless hush of the veil. We passed remnants of a palace, fractured pillars coiled in vines that shimmered with spectral veins, doorways that opened to voids, and statues without eyes. It was not ruined in the mortal sense. It was shed, like a skin peeled away to reveal something more raw beneath. "This was your family's seat once," Eryx said, voice almost reverent. I stumbled. "My what?" He turned slightly. "Your lineage, the House of Vera." "That means nothing to me." "It will." My lips parted to demand more, but the ground shifted beneath us, not physically, but with presence. The veil flexed like a pulse around a wound, and a structure emerged from the mist ahead. A bridge, or what remained of one. Stone spires jutted like broken teeth from either side of a chasm that stretched endlessly downward, an abyss without floor or echo. A single narrow path of twisted black iron arced between them, suspended by nothing. Beneath it, the shadows breathed. Not moved, breathed. I faltered. "You want me to cross that?" "I want you to choose." I turned toward him. "What happens if I don't?" He stepped closer, not touching, never touching. But the air warped between us, magnetic and charged. "Then the veil will decide for you." I stared at the bridge. What's on the other side? Truth, memory, power, and pain, I asked quietly. Always. The wind, or whatever passed for wind here, wrapped around us like a whispering ribbon. The air between us throbbed. "You said the veil listens to truth," I murmured. "So what happens if I speak mine here?" His gaze burned. "Say it." I swallowed. "I don't know who I am anymore." Silence. Then the bridge glowed, faintly, like starlight waking beneath black steel. Eryx's mouth curled. "The veil listens." He extended his hand, not demanding, offering, and I realized I didn't know what terrified me more, taking it or wanting to. The power in him wasn't just darkness, it was understanding and the dangerous thrill of being seen. I reached, our fingers touched, and the veil breathed in. The veil inhaled around us, and I felt it. Not wind, not air, but the awareness of something vast and voiceless pressing in, curling cold tendrils along the seams of my soul. Eryx didn't flinch, but I couldn't breathe. Not out of fear, out of knowing. Knowing this moment wasn't just a step across a bridge, it was a crossing inside myself, from what I was to what I would never be able to undo. His hand in mine was a brand, not hot, but claimed. And yet, the moment I stepped onto the bridge, the iron beneath my boots warmed with recognition, as if I had walked here before, in another life, in another truth. Beneath us, the shadows swelled. "You feel it," he murmured. I nodded. My throat was too thick to answer. "The veil remembers you." I tightened my fingers around his. Not because I was afraid of falling, but because I didn't trust what I wanted. We walked. One step, then another. Every heartbeat echoed through the chasm like a drum summoning something ancient. Halfway across, the veil shivered. Or maybe it was me. "What happens if I fall?" I whispered. "You won't." "You sound sure." "I am." I stopped walking. He turned, one brow raised, a command in the arch of it. But I didn't yield, not this time. "Why?" I asked. "Why are you so sure?" His expression shifted, something sharp melting beneath it. Not soft, never soft, but unmasked. "Because this place was carved from your blood, Nyra. Even if you try to fall, the veil won't let you." My breath hitched. "You keep saying I belong here, that it knows me. but I don't remember any of it. No, he said, stepping closer, but your power does. The space between us crackled, and God's help me, I leaned into it, into him. The scent of him was smoke and frost and something darker, the kind of scent that lingers on your skin long after the fire dies. You said truth makes the veil listen, I breathed. Yes, I met his eyes. Then tell me yours. The pause between us pulsed like a heartbeat. Then, I wasn't supposed to find you yet. My chest tightened. What? I wasn't supposed to come for you until the war lines fractured, until your blood called to mine. My skin prickled, but you did. I did. Why? He reached up, and for a breathless moment I thought he might touch me. But his hand hovered beside my cheek, trembling, as if he was the one on the edge now. Because the moment you bled light into the dark, I felt it, felt you. I should have stepped back, but instead, I whispered, "What am I to you?" His voice was iron, raw, unforgivable. Mine! The word hit me lower than my heart, and the veil moaned. I didn't move when his hand finally touched my face. Didn't flinch when his thumb brushed beneath my lip. Didn't resist when the shadows around us coiled tighter, drawing us into a cocoon of dark and want and fate. He didn't kiss me, not yet, but I tasted it. The promise, the ruin, the claim. I should hate you, I whispered. You do, he said, fingers sliding down my throat, not squeezing, but reminding me I was held. And yet, I gasped, arching slightly into his palm. Yet. The bridge thrummed underfoot, vibrating with some ancient pulse of memory or magic. I didn't know what was more dangerous, the magic in the veil or the man beside me. But I did know this. If I stepped off this bridge, if I chose him, there would be no going back. Not to who I was, not to what I believed, not even to who I feared I'd become. Because the truth was, I wasn't afraid of falling anymore. I was afraid of wanting to jump. And in that moment, his lips brushed mine. Not a kiss, but a warning, a taste, a vow, and everything I was cracked. The veil exhaled, and we crossed together